Berlin, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody watching around the world. Welcome to the 2023 Winter Split Group Draw portion of today's show. I am exhausted after an insane end to the regular season. And as you're already aware, both XL and Fnatic have been eliminated from the Winter Split. And the remaining 8 teams that have to advance to the group stage will now be drawn into their respective groups. Group A and Group B will be made up of one team from each pool as decided by their seeding during the regular season. The draw will be done by placing 4 pairs of envelopes on this podium, with each pair containing a Group A and a Group B tag. The higher seeded team within each pool will draw first, and both teams will reveal their selection at the same time. Now, I'd like to invite our head referee, Malu, to join me on stage and to place the respective pool envelopes right here, ready to be drawn by the teams. To give you a refresher, while Malu is setting up, Pool 4 teams consist of Astralis and Koi. Pool 3 teams consist of Team Heretics and Team BDS. Pool 2 teams consist of SK Gaming and G2 Esports, and Pool 1 teams consist of Mad Lions and Vitality, who are the reason why I'm out of breath right now. Thank you so much, Amalu. For now, we're going to welcome onto the stage your representatives from Pool 4. If I could ask Astralis and Koi to join me on stage right now. Koi is the highest seed within Pool 4, so that means they will be able to select their envelope first. So Trimby, if you can stand on the left of the podium, if you can join me here on the right-hand side, Dale, I'm going to ask you to pick first of these 2 envelopes, whichever one you prefer. Either of those, Trimby. The remainder will be for you, if you can grab that one. Now, if you can both open the envelopes and point them at the camera for me. Group A and Group B. What that means is, Trimby, if you can please move to the right-hand side of the stage where Group A will join, and you're on the left-hand side. Thank you very much. Right, Berlin, hands together. As next up, we have the teams from Pool 3. It'll be Heretics as well as Team BDS. If they can join me on stage right now. BDS has the highest seed within Pool 3, so that means they will be able to be the first to pick their envelope. BDS on the left for me. If you can join me here on the right, pick either of those 2 envelopes, Crownie. Debating it, thinking about it. The remainder will be for yourself. Please open the envelopes, reveal them to the camera. What do we have? That is Group A on this side. Please go and join Koi. If you can take your stand on the left-hand side within Group B. Right, now we're moving on to the 2 teams in Pool 2. It is G2 Esports and SK Gaming. If I could please have their representatives joining me on stage. As a reminder, the Pool 2 teams will not be able to select their opponents because the Pool 1 teams are able to select opponents from either side. So, SK Gaming, if I can ask you to pick one of these envelopes, the remainder is for you, BB. Join me on the right-hand side, please. Open the envelopes, point them at the camera. We have Group A and Group B, fantastic. So, if I can ask you to please join the right-hand side of the stage, you'll be over to the left. Right, now, give us a quick second here before we bring out the Pool 1 teams. That is because once we know which groups the Pool 1 teams will be slotted into, those representatives will be given 5 minutes to decide who their opponents will be. While those teams are deciding, myself and Trouble will be interviewing some of the players on stage. So if I could please ask Vitality and Mad Lions to join me on stage right now. Thank you very much. Let's give you a stand to my right, and on the left, you get to pick the first group here, as you have the highest seed, whichever envelope is calling you. Remainder for you, Niski. Please open these and reveal them to the camera for me. Group B, so Niski, if you can head over to the left-hand side of the stage. Neon, if you can move over here on the right-hand side of the stage. Now, gentlemen, hold these positions for me, as the groups have now been decided. What will happen next? We'll grab some photos, we'll establish some graphics in the screens, and in just a moment, I'm going to ask only Mad Lions and Vitality to leave the stage, and they'll be given 5 minutes to decide their opponents. They'll be able to select between Koi and Heretics, or BDS and Astralis. So while I'm waiting for the cue here from production, let me know when we're ready to excuse them from the stage. I think I'll be able to ask Trouble if you can join them up. So can Vitality and Mad Lions please go back? Everybody else stay in position. that 5-minute timer will be starting right now. And while we're getting set up for that, and while we watch that timer count down, I believe Trouble will be in just a moment speaking to the members of Group A, trying to suss out who they think will be picked and maybe who the favorite's going to be. So, Trouble, over to you for the time being.
Thank you very much, Trevor. This is very exciting. Team B in Group A, and of course, the representative has already gone in. What do you think the verdict will be? Who are you looking forward to facing?
I mean, yeah, sure, I am. I mean, I'm the 7th seed, so I shouldn't trash talk too much, but should be fine. Should be pretty okay for now, I would say. But yeah, we are not looking the best, so yeah, whoever's gonna choose us and whoever we will have to face, yeah, it's not gonna be too easy anyway, I think. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
You say you're the 7th seed and you shouldn't trash talk, but you do come as the former LEC champion. So there's that one in there, Team B. Thank you very much. Mr. Jack Spectra. Hello, hello. What do you think the verdict will be? Who are you wanting to face on your first best of 3 on this stage?
I think it would be really fun to play versus SK, because I played versus Exekick and DOS and ERLs, and I feel like me and Exekick's journey have been pretty similar, and he's a person I've known for years now, so I'd have a lot of fun playing versus him. But I wouldn't be surprised if Vitality pick us, because we had quite a poor game versus them, so maybe they think they're a good matchup into us.
And would you mind reminding everyone what happened last time you faced Exekick and DOS in the ERLs?
I mean, they let me have Draven, and it didn't go too well for them, but we'll see if they've learned their lesson this time.
Thank you very much, Jack Spectra. Markoon, I hope you heard what he said.
Yeah, I heard.
He did stomp your bot lane in the ERLs though. Now they have a different jungler. What do you think?
I mean, all I will know, I just want Heretics now, so my bot lane can get their revenge. They're being done a bit dirty, I think. But yeah, I just hope we get Heretics now, and then I want to extend DOS to 2v2 kill.
Markoon, let me ask you, when you joined SK straight after Excel, did you expect the team to do that well with so many rookies in?
At the start, I did not. But I think after bootcamp already in scrims, I felt that we were a pretty good team. And then once we were able to do it on stage, I had faith that we could reach like top 4 or even to top 2. And we almost did, so I had faith after bootcamp, yeah.
All right, sky's the limit. Thank you so much, Markoon. Thank you so much, guys, from Group A. Give them a big one, come on. Over to you, Trevor.
Thank you so much, Trouble. I'm joined here by Group B, and I'm immediately going to start with Deo. How does it feel to be standing here in the group stage knowing that the corpses of Fnatic and XL are lying there? I think it surprises a lot of people. Did it surprise you?
Not too much, I would say. I mean, we got a crazy comeback, right? But I think if SK lost today, I think we were prepared for another round, you know? So I think we would have beaten Fnatic again.
I think the same as well, Deo. Quick question. Do you think yourself, BDS, will be picked by the Mad Lions?
I think Niski likes me, so I think he will pick me. So he will pick Astralis.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm hearing that we are running out of time very quickly. Crowny, you guys and BDS have had a phenomenal second couple of weeks here. How far will the BDS story go?
I mean, I think we can make it to top 4 and we're confident, yeah.
How good do you think the top of the table teams are? Now you're going to be standing next to BB and Niski in a second. How easy will it be to take them down in BO3s?
I mean, I think they're good, but I think we've also shown that we can beat any team in the league, so it's going to be fun.
I'm very excited to see how you perform. BB, I've got just one quick question for you. How much revenge will you be looking for after the defeat to Mad Lions today?
Well, I definitely want to beat Mad Lions, especially Niski. He was a bit cocky after the match. We didn't show up today, but we're definitely going to show up to playoffs, or in playoffs, right? Very excited. Thanks to Markoon for picking Group A.
Well, there we go. All right, I'm hearing that the Pool 1 teams are just about ready. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Stick with me on stage. Thank you, Broken Blade. Now, we've heard from some of the players, and here the players are just about stepping on stage. Join me here on the podium, gentlemen. We will start with Group A and the reveal of which opponent have you selected.
So we selected Team Heretics.
Team Heretics. All right. Trouble, if you could arrange the two matchups for me, that would be great. You join Group A. Niski, who have the Mad Lions chosen?
Astralis!
Astralis it is. Please join the middle. And could I ask BB and Dayor just to swap for me for photos so we got the matchups set and sorted. That concludes the LEC Winter Split 2023 draw show. Laure, over to you and the analysts for PGL. Thank you, Berlin. Thank you, teams.
Hey, welcome back on this side of the studio for the LEC post-game lobby. Joining me tonight because it's almost midnight, Ender and Nymaera. It's almost tomorrow already. Quick words on the draw, maybe we can directly dive there. Can we look at the groups, please? Production and
We'll figure out in a second whether we can.
We'll figure out
trying
in
to
a
be
second,
like,
but
okay, who's in what group again? Group B did look pretty stacked to me.
Yeah.
Well, I think when you've got a situation the last day like we did, when you had 3 teams vying for top 2, top 1, when you have 2 of them on one group, it does inherently kind of leave you thinking that's going to be fairly strong. However, with this kind of format, everyone facing each other once, and with a couple of teams being a bit up and down, if you get everyone firing on all cylinders, some of the more inconsistent teams, even in a group which doesn't have necessarily all the wins, that could actually punch above its weight.
I want to reflect on the few weeks we had with the new format, following up on what you were just saying. Best of 1, single round robin, 9 games for each team. We saw that you don't have a lot of time to recover if you miss out on the first few games. It can either destroy the team in the case of Fnatic and Excel, but also motivate some other teams as we've seen for Astralis. So how much have you been enjoying the format so far?
I mean, it's so fast-paced that it's fun in a way, because like we had like this last day where even like usually we come into the last day and like there's a lot of games that, you know, maybe sometimes aren't quite as influential for the standings, but like we had that race for the last seed all the way up until this final day, with Fnatic unfortunately falling short right at the end. But I think that now is where it really starts to get fun. Like the BO1s, you know, get that out of the way. Now we finally have some series coming up, which is where I really think it shines. Yeah, for sure. Because this is the only format in the world where you have best of 1, best of 3, best of 5. We've got past those best of 1s, which, as you said, they can get to a point where at the end of the season, it's been very grueling. It is so red hot, the entirety of the first stage here, though, and I feel for the players. You have to be in there week in, week out without that same ability to kind of iterate. But as a kind of watching it as a competition, it does keep me on the edge of my seat.
No, and even Mickey, we had him on PGL last night, and he was telling us that even though they have 1 day less to scrim and get ready, it's actually a welcome change, even for the team. I mean, of course, when you're a team like G2 who's been performing well, I guess it makes things easier.
I get the opinion that they're adrenaline junkies as well when they play like that. You watch their gameplay, and I'm like, there is no way they don't enjoy that kind of excitement.
BB said it himself. They're gonna show up in playoffs.
Fair.
So yeah, we will see them in the studio. That's all we know for sure. But I'm really excited when it comes to best of 3 and best of 5, because we had this in the past. I can't remember which year exactly. We had.
Well, there was the best of 2 years.
We don't
then best of 3 for a second.
We didn't talk about this, but I think it's a welcome change, especially because for so long, teams and community have been saying that unlike the Asian teams, we don't get so many opportunities to train in series. So I'm just wondering how much of an impact it's going to have internationally.
Well, you know what else? Well, internationally, I'll say I like our odds. You know, yeah, you know, why not? We have 2 teams at MSI this year, so that's double the chances of us winning. Jury is out for me right now, because I think watching the meta kind of evolve so far, we're going to have a patch change. That's obviously going to throw everything out of the window, particularly with the bot lane changes. I think there are a couple of teams I look and I say, actually, a team like G2 punishing the blind picks like Silas, we've seen quite a lot. Not every team in Europe has done that. I'm really waiting to see in the best of 3s whether we've got these teams that can punish Jax, punish Silas, punish some of the bot lanes that we've got. Until that happens, I'm not willing to say EU's going to like turn up internationally and do all this stuff. That's kind of like the next thing on the checklist.
Right, let's take a look at the bracket actually and see what we have lined up here. Group A will be playing on Saturday, and Group B will be playing on Sunday. And we open with Vitality Heretics, and on Sunday we'll have Mad Lion Astralis. first take on these matchups, and we'll talk about odds and everything later because we will be changing patch as well. So yeah, first look on the bracket here.
I mean, honestly, it's hard to be like. Like all of the matchups look like okay, these are like pretty reasonable. Like Matt Astralis probably looks like the most lopsided on paper, but at the same time, like Astralis, like I'm gonna be #1 fanning for them as they made the miracle run actually end up happening. And I think that while Koi had a very disappointing first 3 weeks of the season, I think that now, given a little bit more time and given like a little bit more focus in terms of like you're prepping for one team coming in on Saturday, it's going to be a little bit easier. I would hope for them to try and regain some of that summer magic from last year.
That is exactly why, that kind of preparation reason of preparing for one team. I am terrified for BDS. You know, we were working this up as a matchup this week as one which potentially could be closer than we've seen in the past. You know, last year BDS kind of had an upset win or two against G2. But G2, they're such a creative team that when you give them this kind of run up to prepare for a best of 3, even have like one shot where they could just like, oh, that draft didn't work. If they come into a best of 3, I am very excited to see what they can do.
I mean, they're going to come with several tools, I guess, and will be armed. But before that, we have an interview ready on stage with Photon from Vitality. Let's hear what he has to say about the draw and the bracket stage.
Thank you very much, Laure, and thank you so much for joining Photon. Thank you, Ole, once more for joining us for the translation today. And before we go into the group stage, and wow, what was that game? What was going on in the comms? How did you guys come back? What in the world happened?
네, 먼저 되게 신난 게임이었는데 그 게임 그 포톤 선수의 생각 조금이라도 그냥 설명할 수 있나요?
To me, same. Like I don't know what was this game, but we tried to win. So yeah, we did focus. It was good. Yeah, I think.
You did fantastically well. You played your Gragas. I saw some stats, and it's your 5th most played champion with more than 70% win rate. So absolutely fantastic stats. Talking about the comms, of course, of this game, we knew that when the LEC comms released last week, it got a little bit heated with you and Bo shot calling at the same time. What is your role in shot calling within the team?
이제 지난주 영상 하나 나왔는데요. 그때 이제 바이탈리티 소통이 조금 나왔어요. 그래서 포톤 선수도 되게 활발하게 뭐 베런 이렇게 그냥 했는데 이제 그 바이탈리티 팀 안에서 어떤 포지션인지.
I think we don't have like 정확한 한 명이 오도하는 느낌은 아니고 그냥 모두가 하고 싶은 거 말하면서 그냥 각자 하고 싶은 거 말하는 느낌 같아.
So we don't really have one person that is the shot caller, but each of us is just communicating what they want to do, and then it's just like a process of finding, okay, what we're going to do, but everybody voices their opinions.
Perfect. And of course, now let's go back to the groups. Let's go back to what happened in the draw. Vitality chose to play against Astralis in the first best of 3 of the season. What are your thoughts on Astralis?
이제 그룹에서 아스트랄리스 만날 건데 아스트랄리스 팀에서 어떻게 생각하는지 짧게 설명할 수 있나요?
Astralis jungle 113.
Yes.
113 like gank only one side or like only top or
Only top?
only bottom. So we have to check 113's route.
All right, so we need to keep track of 113. Thank you very much, Photon, for the interview. Thank you very much, Ole, for the translation. Back to you guys on PGL.
Thank you, Trouble, and 인터뷰 감사합니다. Évidemment, Photon. And I appreciate the fact that they make an effort in speaking English step by step. I think in summer we will be in summer, spring. We'll see. They will be ready to give interviews in full English. Let's take a look at the bracket once again. We were discussing G2 versus BDS. I think G2 is going to come in prepped, but I'm just wondering what kind of an impact the new patch will have. 13.1b changes on the bot lane. We talked about support changing, maybe the cats being finally dead.
What do you have against cats?
I'm done with Yumi. I'm done with Yumi.
This
It's
is
been
totally
2
like,
years of this.
You know, like the wolf in sheep's clothing, where it's like, that's a sheep. No, it's not. That's very much the Yumi to cats thing. That thing is a demonic entity. It has ruined our game for a little while now. I have no sympathy. That champion needs to be gone from pro play. Get rid of it. I'm glad. Be gone.
Any quick take on the new patch, actually? What do we expect is going to change?
I think we can see a lot of Xayah coming back. Anything that can build kind of like Mythic into Navori Quick Blades, showing up to be very strong, of course, with the Infinity Edge and Navori changes. You build that on second item now after crit, they start activating. So you've got some really big burst crit carries and some big ability damage kind of coming out from that too. That's what we're seeing in terms of bot lane changes.
Who do you think it will impact the most in terms of bot lanes?
Well, Lucian Nami's still going to be there. We're still going to have that. Fair. But I do think that Xayah's been a big winner. Draven, we have a number of players there too. That's also been a big winner. Really starting to see how it settles in pro play though. No crazy definitive answers yet.
Look, Yumi gone, quicker spikes, maybe. Give me some more melee supports, please. I miss them. I want more Olids, please.
I don't know if that's gonna happen though. When I talked to some of the Korean support players, they were telling me that they don't expect too many changes in that area, and you can still flex, pick whatever ADC you want on the bot lane. So I don't expect many things will change in that area, but maybe for the AD carries themselves.
Yeah, so we're going to still have like Ashe support, and we're going to have Caitlyn support. That sounds great.
Lista,
the most melee of all supports.
Killing me over here. Look, I just need Mickey to keep killing Ashe supports for me. Yeah. Change one mind at a time. We can start a movement and get rid of them.
But honestly, I mean, joking aside, I think it's been a great meta. Lots of changes compared to Worlds, and I just hope it's gonna keep on going this way. I'm just wondering about mid lane and top lane maybe, and what kind of change we could see there.
Well, I mean, in terms of the mid lane pool, you still got a real power on rower mid laners, a lot of the mid laners which can kind of play at range. We've seen stuff that can play around the priority, but then, yeah, I mean, looking towards that support, we're obviously seeing a lot of the melee supports on the screen, which of course Ender still love.
Yeah, you know, I said Mickey, so we gotta look at some Mickey B-roll.
All right.
I appreciate it. Look at that. Give me all that good stuff. But I do wonder if it moves us into an interesting conversation, because like we used to sort of go in, you know, midway through a split and be like, oh, you know, who's our pick for like mid-split MVP? Sort of have this, and while we have all this Mickey footage on the screen, like I would like to say that he as a player just showed up amazing well. I think last year was a bit underwhelming out of him, and him returning to G2, people rightfully so maybe had some questions about him on the team, but the way he's gelled with Hansama in lane and the way he's just enabled Yike to be a complete beast and take over games, like if we had to pick someone today, that's who I would nominate.
All right, I will stay on the G2 hype train here and challenge you with Yike. You were mentioning him and how Mickey can set him up. For me, he's my mid-split MVP here. With the way he came strong in the LEC. I knew what he was capable of in the LFL, but I was not expecting him to show up that much and that soon in LEC, especially coming after Jankos, who was such a stepping stone for the G2 family and structure. But Yike took such an important role and central role in this lineup, and to me, he's a huge part in G2's success so far.
I think it was always going to be a really important point for G2 to have that connection between mid, jungle, and then support as well. Of course, Mickey having a great split helps with that. I think that because it is so core, this team would not be at the top of the table if Yike was bad. Because Yike has been so well, I think it's like a direct correlation with how G2 have performed. As you were saying, on the ERLs, we kind of knew how good he was. He was probably the hottest ERL pickup that we have seen.
I would say so.
Every coach was talking about him, a lot of the players were talking about him. The fact that he can show it at this level against the competition in junglers in this league as well, that's very important to track.
And now as we move into the best ofs, I think this is going to be where the biggest challenge for him comes. I think especially as a jungler, like the amount of prep that an opponent can do on you when it's like, when you're playing 3 best of 1s a week, teams aren't going to be like as focused. You know, there's going to be a lot of, you know, the night before working, trying to figure out what your ideas are going to be coming in. But now that it is, okay, here's our opponent for the weekend, we have a BO3, there's going to be adaptation between games, 2, potentially even 3 games. I think that this is where some players can potentially get found out. I'm not personally concerned for Yike on that front, but this is where he is absolutely going to prove that he is at the top, because everyone's excited for him still. Everyone puts him as one of the strongest junglers currently, but no one, I think, confidently yet is being like, yeah, he's number one. You even heard, like, as we talked to, like, Elioya and stuff, be like, oh, yeah, he is very talented, but there's still some things I'm waiting for him to prove. This is where he can do it.
It's been 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny you mentioned that name, though, because I was wondering about who I would kind of call as, like, you know, after this best of one stage, who would I say has been performing well. Briefly thought about someone like Marcoon being a leader in SK or Exakick really surprising me. But the surprise factor is one thing. I think we're very numb to the fact that Elioya is still such a beast. Elioya, for me, is who I would really highlight from this first stage. Has done really, really well facilitating for the team. We talked about it all the way through last summer when Mad Lions were on their massive tech. It was Niski, it was Elioya. Of course, Niski kind of got our MVP for that summer. But Elioya has been a great leader, a great initiator. It hasn't just been him on carries this time. It's been him on stuff like the Sejuani. Even then, still getting individual advantages, but showing he can be a very versatile player outside of what we've seen before.
I was going to say, it's him on the Sejuani full stop, you know? five out of the 9 games been on the board.
No, but still, and I appreciate the fact that we saw more versatility on the side of Yoya because, and especially when you think of the relationship he has with Niski and the mid-jungle synergy they have, they gave us a bad taste at Worlds, if I may say, and it's really cool to see how...
You didn't like the Hecarim every game?
I did not. I did not. I appreciated the Belveth, though.
True.
Very, very nice pick from Yoya, but yeah, I'm really happy to see that they have a better relationship now, and it translates to better performances on the Rift. Quick take on who wins the first round. I will go first. Vitality wins, Mad Lion wins, SK wins, and G2.
I'm going to take a hot take. So,
that's like the most basic picks ever.
Okay, Laure, I've waited a long time to shill for this one top laner. I'm going to say Heretics. Ebby's going to lead them to best of 3 victory. He's played best of 3s for years in Japan. Vitality, nah, Heretics for me out there. I think that SK take the best of 3 against Koi. I think they've been playing very confidently. I think that Mad Lions, I think Astralis don't have the momentum anymore. I think Mad Lions take that. And I think G2, we already talked an awful lot about them. Giving them a run-up, best of 3 prep time against one team, very dangerous.
The one that I'm the least sure about is the SK Koi, honestly. I don't know what we're going to see from Koi.
Especially because I think SK, like, week 1 looked abysmal, week 2 looked absolutely insane, and then week 3 got some wins, but again, it was like a little bit testy, so I'm with you there. You know what? I'll be a believer in Koi, and I'll go with them. I think Vitality probably have it. G2 have it over BDS, and you know what? I got to keep riding with the Astralis Hopium. I'll go with them. That's my spicy prediction.
I personally would have actually really loved to see SK Heretics because they're so inconsistent. We've seen the best and the worst out of both teams, throwing unbelievable leads and stuff like that. We're not going to quite get that firecracker matchup, but still, I mean, they might be able to punch up in some matchups you don't expect of them, or punch down and lose.
It's entirely possible they match later in the bracket.
Round 2, throwing at every objective possible. But that's a story for another week because after this very long day, this marks the end of our winter split with our new formats. I hope you had fun because we will. We will see you guys next week for the first day of group stage and a lot of best of 3. We will take the selfie because I became an expert at doing this now. All right, you guys are so tall. Can you just?
We'll go like this.
All right. Nice.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you for having me. It was great. I very much enjoyed this weekend.
Guys.
It's the final day of the LEC 2023 winter regular season.
Hello boys, hello everyone. I know we are having a rough weekend. We are having a rough time together, but we are gonna win this game through joy, through pain.
Did you say Naruto actually?
Actually, I can't believe, Marek, that you go for this comment after my speech.
Wait, your speech was over?
Lots of damage going through. Adam, flash, face breaker! Won't use it here, but now the turnaround coming through. Charge from Kled. They are beginning to run at the speed of light. Shigenda Meganaring away. This time, it won't be left to chance. And Kobe gets the kill.
Damage onto Yike. Chasey drops the ult. The prison, the backup from Niski. The Pride has arrived. And all 4 members of Mad Lions barreling into G2. They get a double kill for Chasey. This is a pool 1 guarantee. A top 2 regular season finish.
Here's the arrow. Keep your eyes on all the world on 1. Arrow! Adam doesn't even need to use the ult. Ebby's face broken in.
Okay, we made top 8. Holy shit. That's pretty pop-jam.
Crowley begins to fire off again. Ruby teleporting in. The stuns begin to come on through, but it's still a 3v2. Continue to hunt on forwards. The Ultra Shock Laser.
Don't go deep in fights, don't ulti him, just stand on my body and I will kill everyone.
It might be too little. It might be too late. How? How? Video, that was insane! If they lose this game, Fnatic are eliminated and Astralis will advance. Certus has jumped on Cyclone to death. First blood, Fnatic. Gale Force as well as the Flash and Exit Kick solo kills Reckless. Reckless cannot stand toe-to-toe with Exit Kick. Fnatic cannot stand toe-to-toe with SK Gaming. And